ask Brady Sizemore what he's doing? Um, or like, or if he wants to do this. I don't think he wants to do this. I don't. 120 losses for the Chicago White Sox. I'm not even a White Sox fan. I'm an Orioles fan. And even though they tied the most losses record in the American League this year with 21, they still lost 100. They still lost, about uh, 99 more. They still had 99 other losses they couldn't um, have an excuse for. They were just this team is awful. They are 36 and 120. We still have 6 games to go in this. The New York Mets, I think on a technicality, did not play the last 2 games of the season. Maybe they were just rained out or something, but they were 40 and 120. This team is 36 and 120. They still have 6 games to go, and 3 of those games are going to be against the Detroit Tigers. And what are the Tigers going to want to do against them? They're going to want to win. They're going to want to beat, get that spot against the Twins. They want to just keep the Twins out of it. They're going to want to jump ahead of the Royals. And I don't think they're going to catch the Orioles at this point because they're up so much at this point. But going back to the White Sox, this team has argued for a $1 billion new stadium at the 78 Loop or whatever it is in downtown Chicago town. Um, they they tried to argue that they made a $100,000, you know, little baseball field, and could have used that money to find a decent player, not build that for some stupid stadium that you don't need, that you could renovate. Uh, Guaranteed rate field, which the irony of that name as well. Guaranteed rate of failure at this point. This team is just trash. They suck so much. They need to be called the Chicago Vacuum Cleaners. I don't want to see this team, you know, lose at all. But it is good for baseball when you have good teams playing. Even even if you lose, you know, even if you only win like 60 games a year, it, at least that's better. It's not great because you still have 102 losses, but still, I mean, you know, it. I wanted the Padres to win that game, because the payroll of the White Sox is just not there. The is, despite everything, still had a decent season somewhat, or not really, but at least they're not going out with the worst record, or it's a very mediocre record, by the way, and I should probably look that up as well when I get the chance. But 36 and 120. This should not happen. And they do not deserve to be in the MLB. In fact, they make the case for relegation in baseball. They really do. Because if owners are going to want to throw around money and essentially devalue this anyway, or you don't want to just buy a team and not spend any money on it and just, you know, destroy fan report, just destroy his report, destroy the fan confidence, in this. I don't think it's worth it for him to be the owner, because he's not, worth it for. Geez, I even don't even know who the owner is now. Dang it. Geez, I should probably look this stuff up too. At this point, and maybe I will. Um, the owner of the White Sox, is just trash. Who is the owner of White Sox? Yeah, Reinsdorf, that guy. I mean, I mean, what am I supposed to do with this clown at this point? He's 88 years old. 88. And you want to know how many Chicago White Sox World Series he's seen in his lifetime? One. One World Series. In fact, I'm not even sure if the White Sox have even played in any other World Series when he was alive, or for as long as he's been alive. The only one that's even made it to the World Series, it was the '05 White Sox. That's the only team that made it, to my knowledge. At least they won it as well. Um, this team really just, I mean, the history of the White Sox was never too good, but even this is atrocious. I mean, what fan base deserves this? Even the 62 Mets with Choo Choo Coleman didn't, you know, it wasn't that horrible a record, expansion team. It's fine. You'll get the trash players, and it's understandable if you do fail like that, even though we don't want you to do that. But what are you going to do? 40 wins. That team had 40 wins. They need to essentially the 2003 Detroit Tigers have already secured themselves as a better team than this team. And honestly, I actually like to watch a little simulation of those 2003 Detroit Tigers taking on this Chicago White Sox team. They have made so many errors in this season. It's unbelievable. And then there was this one time when Bellinger was rounding third, and the third baseman and the shortstop, whose names you'll probably never remember anyway, are just standing right there, and Bellinger is even signaled to go home, and he scores. And it's like, where's the throw? Where's the throw? He should be out by a country mile, and yet he wasn't. And you're a bunch of fools with this. I don't want to. I'm not going to deal with this team. And I've even argued for relocation of this team. I did. Charlotte would be happy to have them at this point. And Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't have to be the prick anymore owning them. He doesn't. He needs to be voted out. I thought here's my proposal to them to Major League Baseball. If you have a team that is historically bad and they have another 110 loss record, not 120, but 110. If they have 110 losses, and then all the owners can come together and they can decide with a simple majority to vote out that owner. Because at this point, they should. They should vote out Jerry Reinsdorf and get him out of Major League Baseball. He does not deserve to own the White Sox. He doesn't care about this team. He really doesn't. And I don't know what to do with, you know, I do feel bad for the White Sox fans, you know, out of everything. They deserve so much more. They really deserve so much more with everything because it's a shame that it has to happen. And guaranteed rate field is not a bad field at all, but you know, perhaps they should renovate this field, but otherwise, it's a good field. Luis Robert Jr. and Sosa can only do so much. And Luis Robert Jr. is not going to the Hall of Fame as well. And Sammy Sosa couldn't do it. Neither this Sosa. They have 6 games to play. They have 6 games left, by the way. And I'm going to want to get that up real quickly and just even look at this at this point. Just to see this because it is not fair. I'm going to look at the White Sox schedule actually and just see, where White Sox schedule and just see it. Yeah, they play the Angels 3 times. They'll be home for those games, by the way. And they seem to do at least well enough against the Angels, so maybe they'll sneak out another win, but they have to face the Tigers. And one loss, and the Tigers are home too. They're home and they're hungry to get into the playoffs. They will gladly take that wild card spot. They cannot fail at this point because, they're not going to want to take their foot off the gas. They're going to do everything to win. Diaz might step up at this point so they can just get into the playoffs. They want this. This team really wants this. And even though Cabrera's gone, they're going to get in. I think they're going to get in. I really think the Tigers are going to get in. I really think that, and the White Sox don't have anything to play for. If they lose to the Angels three more times, you know, what what are they going to do? Stop the bleeding at that point? They can't stop the bleeding. They can't even lose as a team at this point. It's honestly a shame. This is the worst baseball team I've ever seen in Major League Baseball history. I've seen bad high school teams, and there's no comparison to that. And what is Jason, you know, sorry, you know, Tigers are gonna do it. They have enough of their crew. They got a lot. I think I really think the White Sox are not going to are going to get like at least 123 losses, and that I don't want to be the manager of the White Sox. I don't want to be the owner of the White Sox because I have to like really pay these guys. And and the fact that Jerry Reinsdorf is not coming up with an extra few $1 million to find a decent player is just a shame. And they really have a terrible farm system. They're probably going to lose another 100. How about another 100 game losing? 100 lost season next year. But what gets the worst of me, to my understanding, is that only 17 people one time showed up for a game. This was not in 2020. This was in 2024. 17 people. I can get 17 people from my social group to go out with me to get breakfast at the diner and eat French toast. They can't even get, they can barely get 17 people at their stadium. I'm not sure if that's an accurate number, but with the amount of seats open, I'm surprised no one snuck in to see a free baseball game at that point. They're not even worth the they're not even worth the tickets they're printed on at this point. You know, the tickets are not even worth what they're even printed on at this point. Like they lose money printing the tickets if they still do that. Everything's on the phone nowadays. It's not even worth the digital, you know, HTML code or the iOS code or whatever it is that it's even built on, or the web browser it's built on. Red Sox suck. They like Rob Manfred needs to step in and get Jerry Reinsdorf to resign immediately for his terrible performance. He doesn't care about baseball, and that's a shame. And the White Sox losing so many freaking games is going to hurt baseball in the end. That's about all. Peace out.